Hi everybody, I'm Zoe Burmester and I'm here today to show you how to achieve a marble effect on your cake boards. Here, that's one that in good old Blue Peter fashion I have prepared earlier. So marbling is a really useful, super easy technique, uses up old bits of sugar paste, which we like, and you really don't need too much artistic ability to achieve something that looks pretty nice. And it's pretty versatile for a lot of different cake boards. So this is what we're going to achieve, and I'm going to show you how we can achieve it. There are several ways that you can do this. I'm going to show you my method. So I'm starting, we're going to go for this sort of grey, granity, sort of more traditional look Italian marble, I suppose. So I'm starting with some white sugar paste, and then in here I have also coloured up some light grey, a darker grey, and some black fondant. Okay. Now, because I'm marbling, I haven't been too precious about how well I colour these up, because it's all going to get mixed up anyway. I have my cake board in here just to help me if I need it to roll out. You may well be familiar, there's a little bit of corn flour or cornstarch, I think you call it in the States, which I have wrapped in a disposable nappy liner. It's brilliant. You have to buy them in big boxes, and they don't cost very much money and they last forever, but it's a really, really handy way to contain your corn flour. So that's there in case I need it. I'm going to take my board and I'm going to, with a brush, just dip the brush into a little bit of cooled boiled water, and I'm just going to brush the surface of my cake drum. You could use a sugar syrup for this, but you do need something just to help the paste stick to the board, otherwise it's just going to come straight off. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to pop that to one side. Now, in order to create the marble effect, as I said before, there are several ways that you can do this. Some people just squeeze in some colour gels and mix it up and create the marble effect that way. I like to pre-mix my colours. I'm going to make some little sausages and then knead them in. So I'm going to take my colours here, and I'm just going to roll and place just some very, very loose sausages across my paste. I'm using my white as my main base because that's the main base of the colour. I'm going to do the same with the darker grey. I'm going to turn this over. And as I say, there are different ways of doing this. Some people roll tiny little sausages, lots of them, and then throw them into the paste and knead it. Essentially what you're doing is you're integrating colours. You're not over-integrating them because you want to create the ripple. That's what you're after. So there are many ways of doing that. That's what you're trying to achieve. I just find that this way works for me. I'm just going to put a tiny bit more on here. I'm going to take, now as you can see from this one here, I don't want to put too much black in. I just want streaks of black. So I'm going to put a little less of my black in. And you should consider that when you're marbling, even if you're marbling with a different colour palette. What is your predominant colour? What do you want to streak with? Will the colours be harmonious? Are you just going to do a palette of mauves and purples, for example? Or do you want a multicoloured look? So just have a little mind to the balance beforehand. So you can see I'm just rolling some skinny pieces of black. Now, I think that should be enough. Might just go in a tiny bit more. Over the top. Right, I'm going to probably have to stand up now just to show you. So what I'm going to do is just roll this long sausage out going to twist, and I'm going to bring it back in on itself. And I'm going to fold it up, and I'm going to roll again. And you can see, as we're doing that, how the colours are twisting and moulding. So I'm twisting, putting it back in on itself, and I'm rolling out. I'm twisting, and I'm going to roll back out again. And you can see how the coloration is happening. Now, there is no right or wrong to this. You can, the more you need, the only thing you need to be aware of is the more you need, the more the colours are going to combine. Can you see? So if you want quite a stripy, almost tigery effect, then need less. Okay. I'm going to stop at this point, and I'm just going to, let's just see what we have. Because what happens is, as you roll out with your rolling pin, the colour is going to begin to spread. It's going to put a little bit of, so you can see, got this lovely effect through here, got a slightly darker effect through here. And you can see where a lot of mixing has blended the colours in and less mixing has kept the colours separate, okay? So this is a little more mixed than this one here, which I've done less, okay? So you can just see the difference, but this is just as a demo really, just so you can understand the principle. Going to roll this out. It's actually bigger than I need. And as I say, as you see, you can push through and see all of these lovely colours. I'm just going to grab my knife. Sorry. So organised. Okay, I'm just going to take a little off. You can actually see, that the colours through that we've been marbling. Okay, so I'm just going to roll this a little bit thinner. Just going to check with my board that it fits, which it does. I'm just going to place this over the board like that. I'm going to take my smoother, just press that down over the board. If it sticks, I'm going to sit down now, you can see me better. If it sticks, just use that little bit of corn flour that I've got in my pre-prepared pouch. And where we've put the water down on the board, it's sticking, so that's fine. Now I'm going to take my scalpel. If you don't have any other cake tool in your box, make sure you have a good scalpel, really. I use it for everything that I do. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the scalpel till I hit the edge of the board, and I'm going to run the scalpel around the board, giving me a lovely, neat line. I'm going to stop at that point and come in from the other way just to meet up. Okay. And then obviously anything that's left over, keep, put to one side, reuse. Sometimes I find if I've ended up with quite a dark colour, I use this if I know I need to colour up paste to a dark navy or a black or whatever else. So never throw away. I'm sure you all know this. This is kind of teaching Granny to suck eggs, I suppose. But there you go. There's your cake board. One little tip for you, and I have to say I have to I only learnt this recently from Cake International, from a lovely lady whose name I don't know. Baking your boards. Now, quite often, especially with the types of cakes that I do, I have structures on my cakes, and so I need to pre-cover my board. Because obviously, as you've just put this on, this is soft, right? I just show you, stick my finger in it, you know, that's it. So you really want the boards to be quite hard sometimes before you work on them. So always pre-prepare your boards. To speed that process up, you can pop them in the oven, okay? On a very, very low temperature, not for very long, 3 or 4 minutes. Pop them in the oven, then take them out again and leave them. Don't touch them for about 20 minutes. And they will have hardened up nicely. Can you believe I've been doing this for years and it just never even occurred to me to do that? So thank you to the lovely lady at Cake International that shared that tip with me, which I'm now sharing with you. Just be mindful you don't leave them in the oven for too long. So that's it. Marbling, really, really easy, and creates a really cool effect. So if you haven't had a go at covering, either A, covering your cake board before, or B, trying the marbling effect, do it. I think you'll be really, really pleasantly surprised.